Just a moment. Okay, start it.
Oh, okay. All right. That opening talk. So, all right, let's get started. First of all, thank you so much again for joining us today. So, I'm really happy to spend this time together with all of you. And to our speakers, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your time and the stories you are about to share with us. And today, we have a wonderful lineup of speakers, each bringing their own unique experiences and perspectives. I'm really looking forward to hearing the insights and the stories they'll share. So even if it's on just one moment or one idea, I hope today's session spark some inspiration, new connections, or curiosity for you. Also, feel free to share your thoughts, drop your social links, or simply say hello to other in the chat. It's a special global event, so let's keep the energy warm and lively. And I started this community to bring together people who care not just about AWS but about each other. And now I co-organize it with Yuki, and we are always happy to welcome new helping hands. And if you'd like to get involved, just reach out. Let's keep growing and building this community together. So next. Now, let me quickly share today's schedule. We have uh, we have four wonderful speakers joining us. Dad, Dylan, Luis, and Harry. Thank you so much. And each of them brings their own unique stories, ideas, and the culture. I'm sure you enjoy hearing their talks and seeing their different perspectives. And let's give them warm welcome. Warm welcome. I'm so happy to have you all here as part of this global community. And to our speakers, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experience with us today. We'll follow the order shown on the slide, and the event will last about 2 hours. And please stay with us as much as you can. There's a lot to enjoy all the way to the end. And next, uh, let me share a quick note about this meetup. We are streaming not only on Zoom, but also live on YouTube. And if you are joining on Zoom, feel free to drop your questions or comments in the chat anytime during the sessions. And if you'd like, we'd love to hear your voice at the end too. Just unmute and share a quick thought, even just one word. And together, let's keep growing this amazing global community and continue building strong connections with each other. Next, how many of you are joining us for the very first time today? Check out.
Joining the first time also.
Thank you. So, and for those who joined before, you might already know this, but let me briefly introduce our community. And this community began with the hope of creating an inclusive and welcoming space where we can all learn and grow together. And by connecting people around the world through AWS and technology, we hope the stories and ideas shared here will inspire for you and even in small ways and help you take your next step forward. And we especially welcome those who are speaking for the first time or who haven't had many chances to share their stories before. And I truly hope you'll feel this is community where you can learn, connect, and grow together. And we also have a Discord, so feel free to use it as a space to keep the conversations going. You are welcome to join in and use it anytime after the meetup. And here's what's coming up next. Check it out the date, and we hope to see you there. So, we host events every month, and we are always thinking about how to make this community even better. And we'd love for you to keep joining us. And if you'd like, you are more than welcome to step up the speaker too. And we are always excited to hear new voices and fresh perspectives. So if you're even a little bit interested, please uh, please feel free to reach out anytime. And right now, we are especially welcome speakers for February and beyond. But you can reach out anytime. We'd love to hear from you whenever you feel ready. So, if you ever thought maybe I could give it a try, and this is your chance. So we'd love to hear your story and we can't wait to see you on stage. Don't be shy. Okay. So we are here to cheer you on. So in January, we are kicking off a 24-hour global relay event. So people from all over the world will be sharing their stories on after another. Come join us and be part of the exciting. Okay, so let's keep building this community together. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Let's jump right in with our first speaker. Each session will be about 15 to 20 minutes. Feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the chat as we go. We'd love to keep the energy flowing. Okay, so let's welcome our first speaker. So, Dale, are you ready?
Hey, yes, I am. I'll just turn my camera on. So, sorry, okay. Can people see? Yep, awesome. My camera is on. Now I'll share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and I will, let's see. Okay,
Oh,
awesome.
perfect.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
can people see my screen?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yes, I'll just start by introducing myself. My name is Dale Orders. I'm a software engineer that's based in Melbourne, Australia. I work for Five9, which is a telecommunications company, and I specialize mostly in DevOps, containerization, and serverless. In terms of my experience with previous experience with AWS, I actually started my career working at AWS as an intern, and then did their graduate program, TechU. I've also been very fortunate to be part of the All Builders Welcome program. I have actually been part of it 3 times previously, and am going to be attending reInvent in December. So that will be my fourth time being part of the program. I think they need to kick me out because I keep coming back. But yes, if anyone's just before we start, if anyone's got any questions about yeah, anything to do with All Builders Welcome, or any questions relating to the presentation today, or just anything in general, you're very welcome to reach out to me. I will have my QR code at the end. So very, very welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. So yeah, that's a very brief introduction to who I am. Today's session, we're going to be looking at implementing GitOps with EKS. So this is going to be very much an introduction to GitOps. I am going to try and keep it very beginner friendly. I will be going through some of the, I guess, basic concepts of GitOps before I then conclude with a short demonstration. And then I'll be giving you time at the end to do a tutorial, so you can actually leave this workshop and then do some exercises yourself. So you get to actually learn something and then apply it. So I don't know about you, but for me, I find it really helpful to actually take what I've learnt and then apply it. That's the way that I learn. So for anyone who is the same, they're certainly welcome to do so with some tutorials I have at the end. Okay, with that being said, on the screen you see the agenda for today's session. So we're going to start with an introduction to GitOps. We're then going to delve into some of the principles before looking at some of the tooling options that you can use with Kubernetes. We're then going to focus specifically on one particular tool called Argo CD. I'm going to, if we have time, I'm going to go through a deployment using Argo CD. And then, as I said, you'll have the option to then go away and try this yourself. So, let's make a start. So first question, what is GitOps? So I know many of you would already be aware of what GitOps is, but for those who don't know, GitOps is a continuous delivery and automation framework that uses Git as the main source of truth. So the idea being that you use a Git repository to store your configuration code, and then you use the principles of CI/CD to deploy your infrastructure. It tracks infrastructure. So the idea behind GitOps is that you use version control to be able to track and monitor your deployments. So obviously it's good to be able to track your deployments, to be able to exercise version control, and perform rollbacks if necessary. So that's one of the advantages of using GitOps. It ensures quick and reliable deployment of changes. You have a very clear understanding of the modifications that have occurred, thereby making your operations more predictable. You can enforce certain controls in your platform, ensuring that you get a more secure deployment process. So obviously that is very important. And finally, it ensures teamwork between developers and operators. And that's one of the main points that I want to convey today. It's not simply about using Git, it's about an operational framework. So the entire team is working according to these principles. So, what are those principles? So, there are four main principles of GitOps, the first of which is using declarative code, which I mentioned previously. You want to store that declarative code in a Git repository, so that might be GitLab or GitHub. You want to be able to enforce version controls and immutability in your code, and you want to be able to retain a complete version history of your deployments. You want your GitOps software agent to be able to automatically pull the desired state from the source, and we will see this in the example later, whereby you can sometimes have a drift between the source code and the deployment state, in which case you need to be able to sync the two. And if you employ GitOps, you will be able to do so. And finally, you want to be able to continuously observe your deployments using the principles of GitOps to ensure that you can maintain your desired state. So some of the key components of GitOps, as I said, you need to have a Git repository, and you also need to have declarative configuration. And I will show you exactly, if you're not familiar with either of those two things, I will point them out to you later when we go through the example. But those are two key components you need for a GitOps operational model. You also need to have automation. So you need to be able to ensure that code is being automatically integrated and deployed using the principles of GitOps. And you need to be able to monitor both the health and the performance of your deployments. And there's an array of different tooling that is available to you. Today, I don't have time to go through all of it, but we will go through one such tooling that is available later on. But as I said earlier, GitOps is not simply about the tooling that you choose to use. It is also about a cultural shift. So there has to be a team culture that works according to these principles of GitOps. So it's a principle of collaboration in which all team members are working to ensure the successful adoption of GitOps. And it's also about tooling integration, ensuring that the team is equipped and able to use the selected tooling. Whichever tooling framework you decide to use to implement, the team itself is able to use it effectively. So, Git platforms, I think I've mentioned that previously, and CI/CD tools are also very important. I just mentioned those before. Sorry, I'll move on here. Before we actually look and see what this looks like in practice. So here is GitOps in a nutshell. So you'll see on the screen, we have here a diagram. On the left-hand side, we have our code. So you have obviously your application code. You have also other configuration code. So that may be configuration management scripts that you have, as well as IAC or infrastructure as code. That is to be stored in a Git repository. You then deploy changes using CI/CD, so continuously integrating those changes into the main pipeline, and then using the appropriate approvals processes to deploy those changes to production. And these pipelines should be running as a series using the principles of GitOps and security, automation. All of those things we spoke about have to be integrated at every step of the process. So that's really GitOps in a nutshell. It's a very much a simplified diagram. The actual pipeline itself is obviously going to be very specific to your use case, the tooling that you elect to use. But this really is basically the most simple way of understanding GitOps. Let's move on. Sorry, I can't see if there's any questions in the chat, so please feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions as we go. I did say earlier that we are going to look at one of the GitOps tooling options that are available, and the one that I'm going to show you today is Argo. So Argo CD. Argo CD is a declarative GitOps continuous delivery tool. So basically what this tool does is ensures that your configuration that is stored in your Git repository is appropriately reflected in the state of your deployment. So you don't want there to be inconsistencies. You don't want there to be a drift between the two. You don't want them to fall out of sync. And this particular tool ensures that you are automatically able to detect when these two states start to drift, and you can remedy them through automatic processes. As I said, it uses Git repositories as the single source of truth. So whatever is stored in your Git repository is considered to be the source of truth, and that any changes you make to your repository is then going to be reflected in the state of your deployment. So I will show you that in just a moment, but that's essentially what this program does, this software program does. It offers declarative configuration, as I spoke about earlier. We will see an example of how it is that you write that configuration. So very simple example. Some of the features. So as I said, it offers automation, so you can automatically synchronize any changes that are made to your Git repository, making sure that they are reflected in the state of your live deployment. It offers a web-based interface, so you can actually see what changes will be made prior to syncing your deployments with your Git repository. And it can be integrated into the CI/CD process. So you can use it directly with whatever Git interface you elect to use. It is compatible. So let's have a look. Essentially, you have here the developer who is going to commit a change to GitHub. The Argo CD tooling will pull the updated changes from the GitHub repository, and it will deploy it to the EKS cluster. So again, a very simplified model for what this tooling does, but I think it's best to start simple. That's effectively what this particular tool does. So what does the interface look like? Well, we can see here, this is the actual interface. So you can see in green indications of a healthy state of workloads that are in a healthy state and are in sync with the Git repository. And we'll see an example soon of a repository that has gone out of sync and how we can remedy that. So with that being said, I'm now going to, sorry, oops, not that page. So I can just move this other way. Okay, so now I want to quickly show you, I think I've got time. I want to quickly show you how it is that we can do this. So can everyone still see my screen? I've just moved to a different browser.
Yeah,
Yep,
different
still working.
browser.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I wasn't sure, so I'll just move this out of the way. Sorry, oops. Sorry, I'm just going to, okay, cool. So I was thinking about actually using AWS to show you how it is that you can use Argo CD, but then I thought I would show you one of the websites that I like to use. This is a website called Killer Coder. It is 100% free, so it offers you the opportunity to use an array of different tools without incurring any costs. So if, for example, you were to use Argo CD with EKS. There's obviously a cost associated. This website here is completely free. So I thought for those that are interested, we'll keep it free and use Killer Coder. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to select Argo CD. I'm going to look at some access scenarios. So with this website, you have an array of different scenarios, each of which provides you with a terminal and a working environment for you to be able to solve the scenario that's presented to you. I'm going to open this one here. So this is about creating Argo CD application. Oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. And this one, sorry, declaratively. Actually, no, sorry. Sorry, one sec. Okay. All right. So I'm just opening this here. So this website, fantastic resource if you're wanting to learn how to use some of these tools. In this one here, we're going to create Argo application using Web AI. So it can take a little time to start the environment, but essentially it provides you with all the instructions. So here you need to input the admin username, and then it provides you with the application source code. So I've got the application source code here. So I'll just open this. So start here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Argo CD login. So each Argo CD environment has its own password, which is base 64 encoded. So this one here is mine. I'm then going to open up the Web AI. So here we are. Going to type in admin. I'm going to paste in the password. So the username is always admin and the password is whatever you get from here. So that was what I pasted in. Create an Argo CD application using this spec. Now I'm just going to do this very quickly. I'm going to call application.yaml. Okay, to save time, I have actually got it here. So I'm just going to copy it. So this here is an example of an Argo CD application file. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to apply it. So to apply it, you just go kube apply -f application.yaml. And there we see. So I created my Argo CD application file. I then deployed it to Kubernetes, and I'm going to go back to my Web AI. So I'm just going to refresh the screen and see, and here it is. It has now appeared. You'll see that the name is Guestbook. I'm going to click and open it. You'll see here that it says it is out of sync, and you'll see that it's yellow, which means that it is out of sync, that there is a difference between what is showing here in my my web UI and the configuration that is stored in my GitHub. So what I'm going to do, I'm just open this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click sync, and I'm going to synchronize my application. And you can see here, so you can see things are starting to turn green, indicating that synchronization is occurring. It's still in progress, so we'll just wait for that to finish. But once that has finished, we can confirm that that has, I don't think I know where to put that. That has, great. You get application. Application. -n, so I can confirm that, oops, misspelled. Okay. Okay, there we are. So now you'll see I've got the application and you'll see that it is synced and that it is healthy. So if I go back to here, you'll see the status synced and healthy. If I were to say delete something, I don't know if I can delete this. Okay. I might delete this one. Okay. Type. Yep. So if I delete this, what you'll see when I run that, I can enter the resource. Delete. Okay. Oh, guest book. Sorry, misspelling everything tonight. Okay, so deleted something, you'll see it's out of sync. If I go back here and I type that same command, you'll see it is now out of sync. So to fix it, as you guess, all I need to do is go sync and synchronize it again, and it's back to being healthy. So that's one of the advantages of using the GitOps approach, is that you can use such tooling as Argo CD to ensure you get consistency in your deployments. So yeah, this is a great website. I will post this later for anyone that's interested. There's lots of different resources on here, lots of hands-on practice for anyone that's wanting to learn DevOps, GitOps, anything related to that. It's all on here and it's completely free. So that is the end of my talk. I'll just bring up my PowerPoint. Sorry, I'm being a little bit absent-minded. It's midnight here, so a little bit tired. But on the screen here is my is a QR code to my LinkedIn. So for anyone that wants to connect, has any questions, or yeah, just wants to chat, this is my QR code. So yeah, feel free to reach out. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much there. Thank you. Those were really great and helpful tips. And just like you said, GitOps is not only about tools, it's about working together as a teams and keeping the quality high. And that's such a important idea for CI/CD. So thank you for sharing something so important to the development process. And I'm really looking forward to see you in Las Vegas soon. Thank you so much. So everyone, do you have any question or comments? And feel
Yes.
free to write them in chat.
In chat, YouTube, Twitter is nothing.
Mhm. Okay. Okay,
Thank
once
you.
again, big thanks. So therefore, the amazing stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Now let's move on to our next speaker. Tigran, are you ready?
Yes, hello everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Yeah, let me just share my screen.
Mhm.
Mm.
Is that
Perfect.
visible?
Perfect.
Okay, so let me start. Hello again, everyone. My name is Tigran and I'm from Armenia, currently located in Yerevan. And I am a DevOps practice leader / engineering manager at Provectus. In my current role, I combine both technical stuff like technical consultancy helping teams design, optimize cloud solutions, and also doing people management, helping engineers in their growth. And my experience come from system administration. So I started my IT career as a system administrator, administrating Linux-based machines. And after some time, I discovered cloud and AWS cloud, and I want to spend some time and share some of my experience with that. And after that part, I also prepared some tech presentation. I will jump into that right away. So while ago, back in the times, I was working in a company which were in a state of migration from legacy data centers to the cloud. And as a cloud provider, was decided to use AWS, Amazon Web Services. But actually, the fact that our local team, none of us had cloud experience, because we always administrating Linux machines and Linux environment in the data centers. But that was challenging and fun period. And so to make things optimal and like to speed up the performance, we were tasked to prepare and get AWS certification. And that was, let's say, my first interaction with the AWS. And actually, I felt that. I want to stop here because I think it's important thing to share, because now, as I'm also tutoring, so I have students from different professions, and they are trying to learn DevOps. They are trying to be familiar with the different DevOps tools and toolset, and sometimes they are about to give up because there are lots of things to learn. And here the important thing that I really don't want to go now don't want to go deep here and share my experience, what's the right way to prepare for the exams, because like it could be it could be a full, like, I don't know, 1 hour presentation. But I want to share that when I failed my first attempt, I really couldn't force me, let's say, to go back and to review my mistakes and understand what I need to improve. I don't know what kind of ego play was that. But sometime later, I just had to go back and start reviewing my mistakes. And after some time, I just passed the solution architect associate, and then SysOps administrator, and after that, I'm one of the early AI adopters, like AI certification adopters. And the thing is also back in that time, there weren't many courses and practice exam tests, and we were learning from the books, and we were just relying on our expertise. But yeah, so as I went to as I start digging deeper into AWS, I learned a lot, and also I was curious if there is any community programs around AWS, and I found out this incredible community builder program. I applied, I was selected, and 3 years ago, now my third year of being part of AWS community builder, but 3 years ago, when I first applied, after that, I found out that from our country, it's the first time that someone is selected, and those were me and another great person whose name is Christine, and she is also AWS hero and lead of our local AWS user group. And actually, we start building a local community, and we are doing really great meetups, and we are trying to invite these star speakers. And by the way, like last time in May, during our AWS Community Day event, the Vice President of AWS, Jeff Parr, visited Yerevan and gave a really inspirational talk. And all of you guys, you are very welcome to visit Armenia, Yerevan, and participate our AWS events. I will share later our LinkedIn link. But if you are interested, you can follow us there. Yeah, and that's it about about myself, about my journey with AWS. Now let's jump and talk a bit about the tech related things. I want to touch today AWS Control Tower, because I think it's a very important topic, and I previously, and actually now, during my day-to-day work, facing various security-related tasks, and while I was dealing with AWS Control Tower, I found out that so I'm not going to say that there aren't much information or many documentation about this topic, but from my research, I found out that there are some specific aspects that I couldn't find from the documentation, and just learn from my experience. After that, I documented that in the Medium article, and I will share that full article with you as well. But during today's presentation, I just want to highlight some specific things and points that was very like critical, and maybe it would help other engineers to just like learn from this and spend less time on the troubleshooting. So story behind this AWS Control Tower implementation. Of course, there was a reason, and that reason was SOC 2 certification. That during that time I was working in one US-based ID companies, and one day we learned that the company is going to get SOC 2 certification. So I know that there are a couple of security professionals in this call, and you of course know that that it's tough. It's tough, first of all, and you need to refine and you need to go over all of your infrastructure if we're talking about the cloud, and you need to redesign lots of things. And we had some specific situation, because our team inherited the infrastructure which was built by skipping some fundamental best practices, like when you are creating AWS organization, you shouldn't deploy any type of workloads on the management account. But in our case, that was the opposite, and there was production workload deployed on the management account. And also we have that challenge that we had many workloads on other accounts, and so running workloads, and we didn't know if something will affect the availability of the workloads or not. The other concern I had was about the saving plans and reserved instances. So we had already purchased on this old management account, and how they were linked to the rest of the accounts. And I wasn't sure if I release this management account from being a management account and deploy Control Tower to a brand new management account, how all these things relate to cost and saving plans, etc., will work out. Because the other tricky part was that when AWS account leaves its old organization, and before joining a new one, it typically becomes a standalone account. And for that reason, it's crucial to ensure that all necessary information is entered for the account to function properly. And you need to grab the contact, email address, payment method, phone, and some other details. And actually, in my case, it could be also a case for you guys. It's very crucial and essential to know. So in my case, the phone verification step turned out to be problematic, because I had run into some issues and I don't know why I couldn't get this notification code to my phone number. Maybe because I was outside of US by that time, I don't know. But like I know that many of you are outside of US, and yeah, it could happen also with you. The workaround was one of our accounts has business level support enabled, and I just went and opened the high priority, like critical ticket marked production system down, and actually the AWS support, they reacted really quickly, and they I had a chance to contact them, and they called me, and we were able, just like hanging on the phone, verify all these accounts and do this identification. And after that, I was able to continue the migration, and I completed that successfully. And after that, I sat down and told myself that maybe, so I had so now on the screen you can see some initial plan I had, and also you could see this green part. That means that those steps actually were completed successfully, and the other part, just like I just didn't I haven't had a chance to update this doc, but the meaning of this is just to be prepared and to have a really good game plan. Because so I created some game plan for me. We checked that with my colleagues, but anyway, I think that I could do it better that time, and after that I decided like to improve that, to document that, and to use that next time if I will do some control tower migration. Yeah, and the other thing is, like I collected some sources that I found during my research before the migration. I put all that information in the Medium article I wrote after some time I did the migration, and you can find those articles, because so I found very essential information from the AWS official documentation, and rather than that, I used just like some custom documentation. And the other great thing is that as a community builder, I had a chance to ask other builders in our community builder Slack channel, and those guys help a lot, sharing their experience, and also sharing their like some documentation they have on the table. And yeah, so it's pretty important to have everything well documented, and it's also, I think, important to share the knowledge we have with other engineers. And that's it. Thank you very much. I hope it wasn't very boring for all of you. And yeah, if you have questions, you can ask, or you can reach me out on LinkedIn. I will share my LinkedIn page as well. And have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Dylan. What an amazing career journey you've had. And it's great to hear how AWS became such an important turning point in your career, right? So I really agree that the DevOps is more important than ever right now. So, and thank you for introducing AWS Control Tower. That was such a practical talk based on real experience. So, as you said, migration always comes with unique challenges for every company. So, no matter which phase or layer they're in. Yes. So everyone, do you have any comments or questions for Tilam? Feel free to share them in the chat.
YouTube and X nothing, but so like bear some likes.
Okay.
Mhm,
So please connect him on LinkedIn. Mhm.
mhm.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much, Tigran, for that wonderful presentation. Okay, now let's move on to our next speaker. Luis, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Mhm.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you. One moment, please.
Okay.
Can you confirm that you are watching my screen, please?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Uh, okay. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depends on your time zone. Here in Peru is morning. So this talk is going to be about some services that are called media services. Maybe if I try to ask to all of you, who besides me know or have read about these services, I think we will have around less than five people, or maybe one or two, because these services are not so popular as EC2, Lambda, RDS, S3, but these services are being used and are being used by popular companies like Netflix, Pluto TV, Tubi, or other companies. So I'm going to I'm going to present myself. My name is Luis Valdivia. I work as a CTO at a local company called Plus One Design and Development. I have more than 15 years of experience. I have 2 degrees, one in project management, and the second one is an MBA with technology. I'm also a PhD candidate in a local university, and I also am a university lecturer. As you can see, I'm a very big fan of John Cena. my agenda, I'm going to explain about these services: Media Live, Media Package, Media Tailor, Media Convert, Media Connect, and Media Store. As I mentioned before, these services are being used. If you search about Pluto TV is a fast channel that is showing a lot of content in different channels. They are using this service. They are using a lot of these services. So I'm going to explain the first one, that is Media Live. Sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry. Okay. One moment, please. I think I have problem with my internet connection. One moment, please.
Let me jump in really quick, Luis, while you are dealing with your issues. I just remember that I never heard about those AWS services, but I remember you presented that during the AWS Voices.
Yes.
Yeah, we were in the same Zoom fight room, as I remember.
Yes, we were in the same room, and I was explaining these services right there.
Yeah, and that's nice to see you again. So salute.
Yes, yes, it's nice to see you again, Tigran. Yeah, sorry, there were some difficult things. Yeah, the first service I want to explain is called Elemental Media Live. With Elemental Media Live, you can deploy a live 24/7 channel between minutes. If you search about this type of service, you are going to find that WOSA is the Titan. With WOSA, you can deploy all of these, but the problem with WOSA is that you have to install it on an EC2. EC2s are a very cool service, but the main problem that EC2 has is that you have to install your you need to install a OS operating system like Windows or any flavor of Linux that you want, but you need to give it support, because if you don't patch it, you don't migrate the instance, you will have a lot of problems. But leaving that behind, if you use WOSA, you need to learn about WOSA, how to install it, how to deploy it, the best practices. With Elemental Media Live, you only need to follow a wizard. It's a serverless service. And as I mentioned before, you can deploy a 24/7 channel in just minutes. You don't need to do anything crazy. And even if you don't, if you want to use specialized hardware, because if you watch TV on your regular TV with your decoder, that is called the air signal. If you want to watch that content on an app or using internet, for example, like Netflix, that Netflix is streaming all the pay-per-views of WWE, you need to convert your air signal to digital. And if you want to do that, you need to buy a small device called decoder. Decoders start from 2000 and anything that you can imagine, and they are expensive. If you want to use a small decoder, you can buy it from AWS. There is a small decoder called AWS Media Link. Media Link costs around $1,000 plus taxes. You connect your signal and you start streaming. That's very easy. You only need to have three things: internet, a signal, and electricity, nothing else. But there is another service called Elemental Media Package. Now, as we all know, if you turn on your TV and go to Netflix, Prime, Crunchyroll, or any device that you are using, you will see that you can play the content in all the devices. But if we are a little bit curious, if I record a video on my Android device, it will have some special format. If you record it on iOS device, it will have another format. And if you record it on Windows, Mac, or any other device, it will have other formats. So how can they manage to play the same content in all the devices using a universal format. That's where Elemental Media Package works. He is a managed video origination and packaging service. What does this mean? That it can convert all the videos in a universal format that you can play. Because if you are on a Mac, on Windows, or any other device, you can play Netflix, you can play Prime. You don't have any problem. You don't have to download a specific codec. You can use it. And also with the Elemental Media Package, you can you can use like a key, the KMS, but this is called DRM. With DRM, you can protect your streaming, so nobody can steal it. Because if you open your favorite browser and you double click, right click, you open the developer tools. And developer tools, if you go to the network section, you can inspect all the things that are loading on your website. Or even if you are if you even use a Wireshark, you can do that. So with media package, you can protect your signal. It's like using silent requests with S3, with S3 and CloudFront is the same. You can protect it. And one cool feature that has media package is that you can control your live signal. What does that mean? For example, you are watching a live event that starts around 8:30 and you enter the app around 8:40. When you play it, it will show you a pop-up that says, do you want to play it live or you want to play it from the beginning? With media package, you can control your life and you can go to the past. No go to the future because the future is not ready. But you can go to the past and you can go to the past until 14 days ago. So with media package, you can do that. Many big companies use that functionality, but you don't know how to do it. But with media package, you can do it. We can go to media tailor. As I mentioned before, Pluto TV and Tubi TV are fast channel. Fast channel are channels that has a programming grid where you can enter and you can watch Naruto, a movie, action, drama, soap opera, or anything else. But these are VOD contents. VOD contents are videos that are already recorded, like YouTube. If you go and search in YouTube Python tutorial for beginners and you start to watch all the series, that's our VOD or video on demand. What media tailors allows you is two things. You can place ads like YouTube. For example, you are watching the Python tutorial series, and after I don't know 10 minutes, it shows you an ad, and you have to wait 10, 20, or 30 seconds, or maybe when the video ends, it shows you another ad. With media tailor, you can do it. You only have to connect a provider called ad decision server. The ad decision server will give you the ad, and media tailor with media live, media package will show it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to learn a specific language. You don't need to learn about WOSA. Media tailor will do all the job. And there is a second characteristic that has media tailor. I'm going back to use the Pluto example. Pluto is using this fast channel with media tailor. You can create like a timeline, an imaginary timeline where you can put all your VOD content and it will show you as it was a live streaming. So Pluto TV, Tubi, and any other fast channel is probably using media tailor with that functionality. But there is a problem. You will say, Luis, I like your services because they are the media. They are serverless because nowadays it's very popular to use serverless because any of these service has to install it or has to deploy an EC2 or any other infrastructure. But I want to use I want to create something like Crunchyroll or Prime that doesn't have live events like Netflix. How I can convert my videos to this universal format because I have my video on MP4 or any other crazy format that I have. So how can I make this format universal for all my streaming apps that I have? Maybe if you Google a little bit, you will find that there is a command that is very used. It's called ffmpeg. The main problem with that is that you have to install it. If you have to install it on Ubuntu or on the operating system that you have. A little disadvantage that this command has is that it consumes a lot of memory and it will take to convert those videos a lot of time. If you have a movie, for example, Avengers Endgame, The Revenge, or the name that they are going to call it, and this movie has a 5-hour durations, this command will convert your movie to this universal format around 1 day. And you need to increase your EC2. And you don't want to wait 24 hours, 48 hours. You need to place it right away. So there is a service called Media Convert. Media Convert will transform your video to the universal format that you need in just minutes. You only need to upload a JSON template where you specify the origin video, the destination video, the codec that you are going to use. If you want to transform this video to a specific codec, or you want to transform it to this universal format. You only place it, you wait some minutes, and the video will be stored at your S3 or at any location that you want. You only have to wait minutes. It won't matter if your movie is around 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. It will transform it around 20 to 30 minutes. So you don't have to wait, and you only need to work with a little JSON file that is not very hard to understand. But maybe you will say, Luis, we understand that you are using live, VOD, are okay. But the problem that I have is that I need to send my content to a cable provider. Maybe many of you don't know that when you are working with a cable provider, you need to work with satellites. And satellites are very expensive, no? Because I I can buy a satellite. I can buy a satellite. It's too expensive. So how can we send our fast channel, VOD content to a cable provider? There is a service called Media Connect. Media Connect has all the crazy protocols that cable providers need to use and need to understand. You don't need to learn all about these protocols. Media Connect is a high quality service that you can security ingest, share, and distribute your video source to a cable provider without using a satellite. It will only charge you the transmission that you're going to send is calculated around in gigas, but you don't need to do anything, and even your client doesn't have to rent a satellite. You can do it with only a few clicks. And the last one is Media Store. Media Store is like an S3 bucket, but is more optimized for video content, because in S3 we know that we can upload anything that we want. Websites, JavaScript files, CSS files, or any other thing that we can upload, Parquet files, and so on. Media Store is a media optimized store format where we can upload our content and will give you a very low latency. This is very used if you are going to store a lot of videos, for example, like Netflix, Prime, Crunchyroll, or any other streaming service. and it will work. It's like an S3, but an S3 specialized for videos. So I have already explained all the media services that you have, and I'm going to show a little example. As we know, if you want to stream something 24/7, like, or maybe a pay-per-view, a live event like Netflix or the NFL, you need an input. An input could be a camera, an OBS, a mobile device. You only need to deploy three services. The first one is Media Live. Then we use Media Package. And then we use CloudFront. We use CloudFront because we take advantage of all the edge location and it's the CDN that we need to use if we are working with AWS. Then the user is going to play it. So we can go to this. Here is the repo. If you can scan it. And if you scan this is a very small video that I am showing you. That it will look like the 24/7 channel. If you scan it, you can play it. So I'm going to show it. So, one moment, please. If you scan the video, if you scan the QR that I showed you, you are going to watch this video. This video is, as you can see, I'm a very big fan of Marshall. So every time that you watch the intro and you do the crazy dance, you are welcome. I'm sending this video right now using OBS. And it took me around 5 to 10 minutes. As I explained you before, you can deploy a live TV channel in just minutes. There is a lot of examples where popular TV channels that are using this. There are a lot of examples in Japan and in any other parts of the country. So with this, you can send it everywhere. And how can you create it? If we go to the AWS console that we are very familiar with, we go to Media Live and Media Package. In Media Live, all these steps are explained in the repository that I share with you. You only need to create two things, an input and a channel. And every time that you want to use an input on a channel, the restriction is that one input per channel. You can share one input with 3 or 4 channels. No, that is a restriction. It's not like if you are using an EBS. In EBS, you can share it with a lot of EC2s. In this case, no. One input per channel. You create your input, the protocol that you need. In this case, as I am sending this signal, I'm using push. I need to specify if I'm using it in AWS or on-premise, public or VPC. In this case, I'm using public because it's a proof of content. Then you can change all then you can follow all the best practices that well-architected explain us. The security group, in this case, I'm using this because it's an example. And then you can choose between standard and single. The main difference is that in standard, you have 2 endpoints. And if you are using 2 endpoints, it's more expensive than using only one. In this example, I'm using a single. You put it a name, for example, example. We give it a name, test, create input. We wait some minutes, and my input is already created, and the first status that it has is detached. Then we go to channels. We create a channel. If you have scanned my QR, I uploaded a JSON file that you can use here. As I mentioned, if you want to use an input, you go to input attachment, and you can see that it only shows you one. In this case, is the one that I created a few minutes ago. We confirm, and the output group is the qualities. Quality says HD, Full HD, 4K, 8K, 64K, and all the qualities that you want to use. In this case, I'm only using one. If you want to use the configuration that I have uploaded, you only need to upload a JSON file that I place on the repo. The JSON file, you can check it. There is nothing strange. I'm not going to ask you about your credit card information or anything else. It's a JSON file, very simple to understand. You give it a role, and then you create your example. No problem with this. El problema es esto. Sorry, mistake. I didn't place this. No. We need to wait some minutes, and it will start to create your channel. And then you only need to connect it with OBS or any other streaming software that you use. As I mentioned before, I can create this channel between minutes. You didn't have to learn about any crazy language. I didn't say, if we want to stream content, we need to learn COBOL, Python, Fortran, or all the programming language that we know. You didn't know, you don't need to know any programming language. You only need to follow a wizard, play around a little bit, and then you can start streaming. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. Thank you. As I said before, I'm a very big fan of John Cena. You can see me. And this is my QR where you can connect with me on LinkedIn and all my social medias. And I also have a YouTube channel where I'm teaching AWS Cloud Practitioner tutorials for anyone that is interested. So thank you. If you have any questions, I will answer it.
Thank you so much. Our Japanese anime.
So I'm also I'm a big very fan of a lot of animes.
Oh, nice. Me too. Thank you so much. So, by the way, I actually visited Peru earlier this year. Okay, so it was really interesting to hear about media related service. That's something I don't usually work with. So it felt very fresh to me. It sounds like there are a lot of powerful services running behind the scenes, right? So probably so many that it's hard to even guess the cost. As okay,
Because
so
I start to learn about these services around 2 years, but this year I learn more because as I show you, I'm a very big fan of WWE, and WWE has signed a agreement with Netflix that is going to is going to stream all the pay-per-view events of WWE. So I start to find how they can do that. So I learn about these services, and it mixed both of my two favorite things to do, WWE and AWS.
great, thank you. So by the way, so I love how everything is nicely packaged together. So it definitely made me want to find a chance to try it myself. So everyone, do you have any comments or questions for Luis?
Nothing, no. Nothing, no.
Okay, nothing. All right, and if you'd like to please connect it with him on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Wonderful
you.
presentation. Thank you. So finally, now let's move on. Next speaker. So Ari had to step away for a bit earlier.
I'm back, Hiromi.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Ready?
Okay, so is it my turn now?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I had to step away for a while. Like, I had a meeting, so yeah. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining. Myself, Harpreet Sidhu. I go by Harry because it's easy to pronounce. I'm basically joining this from Philadelphia, USA, and I'm currently working as a lead software engineer here in one of the life insurance company. And I normally, like, I started my career as a mainframes developer, but soon after I realized that it's not something that I want to pursue in my career later. So I started learning about AWS around 2017 and 18. I started learning about AWS and completed few certification, which really helped me in knowing more about AWS. So I am AWS Solution Architect certified, developer certified, and I also did some, badges which are available on the skill builder. So and then this is how I kind of started working on AWS. And then after learning about AWS, I got some opportunities within my company also to work on initiatives specifically to cloud, because that time we started migrating our on-premise data center to cloud. So I was part of many initiatives where I migrated and modernized applications from on-premise data center to cloud. So this is like my journey, and then I was accepted as a community builder probably into 2023 or 24 probably. And this is my second year going on right now. And then I started contributing about AWS via my blogs. I write blogs on Medium, and I also share video content on my YouTube channel. Along with that, I'm a kind of reactive on LinkedIn as well. So this is in short about me. So without wasting more time, let's jump on to the presentation that I have today for you. Let me know once you see my screen. Can you see my screen?
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so I'm working like normally in my day-to-day life, I specifically work on serverless a lot. Most of the applications which I, migrated and modernized and also developed in AWS are serverless applications. We normally use managed AWS services, which are, provides you all the benefits. You don't have to, manage your infrastructure. You can straight away focus on your business logic. So AWS Lambda is one of the service which I really love, and I always wanted to go in deep and learn about how to make our applications more efficient, cost optimized, and highly available, and all that using these services. So AWS Lambda, like you all know that it's AWS managed serverless. We don't really have to manage infrastructure. It's inherently highly available and scalable. So you don't have to worry about the availability and scalability. The main important thing comes with AWS Lambda is the cost. Now, cost is again, it uses the pay as you go model. But recently, there was a change announced by AWS in August 2025 that they will start standardizing the AWS Lambda cost, and then init phase will also be chargeable going forward. So this presentation is all about understanding Lambda and all the different phases that Lambda goes through whenever we invoke a Lambda function via any event. So that's what we will learn in this uh, in this session. So just a refresher, AWS Lambda is a serverless event-driven compute service from AWS. It lets you run your code without provisioning and managing servers. So you can just upload your code and then you can trigger Lambda functions. You don't really have to worry about provisioning like servers like we do in the EC2 uh, or if you work on server based applications, we need to provision EC2 servers and then manage all those underlying uh, softwares and all that, like patching and everything. So you don't really have to worry about those things. What are the benefits of AWS Lambda? As I said, no server management, automatic scaling. This is one of the feature that's really important for AWS Lambda. Like it doesn't matter whether you are getting traffic, like you're getting 100 users or 1,000 users. AWS Lambda automatically scales. It can scale to, serve thousands of requests automatically. You don't really have to use like auto scaling groups or your other things to scale your application. It's automatically inherently available to you. It's cost effective, so our AWS Lambda can is will only be charged when it is in use. So it uses pay as you go model. So scaling again, it scales to thousands of requests and then it scales down to zero, which means that when it is at zero, you don't have to pay anything. It will not charge you anything. Your code can still be there, but when you are not running, you are not going to pay for AWS Lambda. It has built-in fault tolerance, so it's available like in multiple availability zones. It provides high availability. Your application will always have an AWS Lambda available in the multiple availability zones. It depends again, like whether you have the public AWS Lambda, like whether you host AWS Lambda within the AWS cloud, or you can also host AWS Lambda within your own VPC, like in your private subnet, and then you can define the availability zone uh, to get high availability of for your applications. But by default, it provides built-in fault tolerance and high availability. Most important things, it provides easy integration with many AWS services. Like you can integrate it with any like you just name it. You can integrate like with API Gateway, S3, SQS, SNS, Event Bridge, and all that. So it's really one of the key component of event-driven architecture. It also provides flexible language support, so you can code in Python, Java, .NET, Node.js, Ruby. So all those runtimes environments are available, which you can use to code your Lambda function. And it's part of the event-driven architecture. So for you to create event-driven architecture, AWS Lambda can be and can be used easily. Some of the use cases, so web and API backends, you can create your web applications. You can use API Lambda for your API backends behind the API gateway. So those are some of the applications. Real-time file processing, in case you have files which you want to process and change. For example, you have to change the image size or something like that. You can use AWS Lambda. It's highly used in the data transformation and the ETL operations. Like if you are using AWS Glue and any data analytics specific applications, AWS Lambda is pretty handy. You can create workflows using state machines as well. That's again another advantage. Automation and orchestrations for like for example, if you want to automatically start and stop EC2 instances and any other automation that you want to create for your application, you can use AWS Lambda for that. IoT and event processing, these are some other use cases. Now with the Gen AI, you can integrate AWS Lambda with the Bedrock agents. You can create agents using in Bedrock, and then you can integrate AWS Lambda to do those tasks for you. So there also you have good, application of AWS Lambda. Now let's understand the AWS Lambda cost model. So how exactly and what are the factors that are part of the of AWS Lambda cost? So there are three main factors. One is the memory allocated, not used. Now I said not used because you could create a AWS Lambda with for example 512 MB of memory. But if your Lambda is only using 100 MBs, it doesn't mean that you will be charged for 100 MB. It will be charged for the total allocated memory, which is 512 MB. So that's one of the important thing that you should be aware of. So whenever you create a Lambda function or define the allocated memory, this is one of the factor that you should monitor using CloudWatch to optimize it more. Now, the second one is the execution time, how long your Lambda function is running, and the number of requests. So these are the three factors which basically are used by AWS to to basically calculate the total cost for your Lambda function whenever it executes. And this is how the execution cycle looks like. Here you can see that there are total like this Lambda lifecycle consists of three phases: init phase, invoke phase, and the shutdown phase. So in the init, when the init phase is basically triggered, that's also called a cold start. When Lambda creates a new execution environment for your function in response to any invocation. After that, it follows with the invoke. In the invoke, it actually executes your business logic, and then after some time, or AWS automatically shut down that execution environment, and it shut down the runtime environment, and then your Lambda is kind of goes back again, and it's it will not be available for any further request once it's shut down. As per AWS, the maximum init phase could be 10 seconds, but I have seen more than that because it depends on what are the things you are adding and running in your Lambda function. There are multiple things which kind of defines how long the cold start could be. Now, the main important part of that I want to share is that now previously, like I'll probably share in the next slide. Yeah. So this is what I want to show. So for this execution cycle, you can see that this is a screenshot from the CloudWatch, and you can see that the duration previously was, so the total duration for the Lambda function was 250 milliseconds, and the build duration was also like 251 milliseconds. It's kind of the nearest millisecond that is actually charged by AWS, and the memory size is 1024 MB, but you can see the init duration was 100 milliseconds, and this is not part of the build duration. It was only using the duration the Lambda was running, basically the invoke duration, or the time when the function was in the invoke stage, and that duration was basically part of the build duration, and init duration was not part of it. But as of after August 2025, they have standardized this and they made a change. One more important thing that I want to specify here is that any Lambda function which was already using provisional concurrency, those were already, for those type of Lambda functions, init duration was already part of the build duration. So this change that they are making is mainly for like functions which are not using provisional concurrency, and also for functions where you upload your code in a zip archive. Okay, so those are the things which you should be aware of. Now, after 1st August, you can see here in the CloudWatch log, the build duration is now increased to 351 milliseconds, which you need to be aware of, because this would significantly increase the cost of your AWS Lambda function. And you can see that 100 milliseconds is kind of around uh, 30% increase. It increases around 30 or 25 to 30% increase in your cost. So if you are not optimizing the init duration for your Lambda functions, you might see a large bill for your AWS Lambda function, because when we talk about the production workloads, we are not just invoking function one time or two times. Like it's like you're getting thousands of requests throughout the day or probably more, and it can incur more cost if init is not optimized correctly for your function. Now, like I just want to explain how exactly, like through a animation, what exactly happens when request comes to a Lambda function. So here I have init phase and the invoke phase, and I don't know if I can use the pointer. Okay, can you see my pointer here? Anyway, so we have init phase and the invoke phase, and let's suppose a Lambda request is coming. There are like requests coming per 100 milliseconds, and now after 2 seconds, your Lambda. So initially the Lambda was in the init phase, and it was trying to initialize your function. It is trying to fetch all your dependencies and making sure that your environment is ready, up and running to process your business logic. So it takes 22 seconds for that, and then after this, like after execution, after the function is in the invoke is in the warm condition, then any request comes to your Lambda function directly goes to the warm Lambda function, and then it doesn't go to the cold start again. So that's how it happens. Like when once for the first request, your Lambda will not be available, but it will go to the init phase where it's also the cold start, and then once the Lambda comes to the warm state, any request comes to that Lambda function will directly go to that, and there will be no init phase in for that Lambda function. Only when the request stops, it will go to the shutdown phase after some time. That time we don't know. AWS has a predefined mechanism to move that function to the shutdown phase. But if any requests are coming, continuously requests are coming, then they will go to the Lambda function, and it will be just for the initial few time. That time the function will be in the cold start state or the init state. Uh, that's how exactly, like it works basically. Now, what are the things that you can do to optimize the init phase? Like how we can improve the init phase and decrease the duration for the init phase. So there are multiple options. First of all, like we have to optimize the package and the library size. So the total size of your Lambda code that you are uploading. So you have to kind of optimize that. You can minimize the dependencies. You can remove dependencies from your applications which are not required. Uh, you have to go through that piece, and also you can use Lambda layers. That way you can reduce the size of your actual application and then kind of divide that into multiple different uh, functions. You can optimize your code. You can probably use caching or avoid external calls. With caching, like you don't really have to make those calls, and before so when it initializes the Lambda functions, if you have something that you want to get it from external system, and if you're fetching those external things, you should basically cache that so that it's available, and you don't really have to call those external APIs again when you have more Lambda functions request. So there could be like request coming, and then AWS will be uh, uh, you know i- invoking new Lambda functions environments. So for those new Lambda function environments, those things will be available, and they don't really have to spend time in getting that data. So that caching and optimizing is one other thing which you can do. You can use snapstart and provisional concurrency, which is available, and that can also reduce the cold start. Provisional concurrency is something is which comes with cost. You have to pay some extra money for that. But this Lambda snapstart is something which is free, that you can enable in your application. And initially it was only available for Java workloads, but now it's available for Python, .NET workloads as well. And that's one of the very very good feature which would reduce your cold start by 10x like times. So these are the things that you can use. You can choose appropriate runtimes as well. Like there are faster runtimes, for example, Python and Node.js. So if you're coding Lambda function, you can use these things, which would allow you to reduce your cold start and any durations. And if you have functions which are monoliths, you can probably think about dividing those functions into multiple Lambda functions to reduce the init duration. So I think that's the last slide for me. I mean, I'm sorry, like I went through this pretty quickly. Uh, I was I was like a little busy and didn't get much chance to give you a demo and all that. But probably if in one next time I'll come more prepared, and I'll try to give you more better demo to help you understand this. I know this is more theory. It's better to kind of give you demo via CloudWatch where I can show you like how we can reduce the package size and then improve the init duration and all that. But I hope better to have something instead of nothing. So thank you all for listening to me. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask to me. This is my LinkedIn. You can connect with me, and yeah, you can ask me anything via direct DM or something like that, and I'll be able to answer that for you. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Hiromi. I really appreciate that. I know I just reached out to you last minute and you kind of incorporated me, like added me in this list of speakers. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Don't worry. So, don't worry. So, I was really happy to hear that your company is also working on serverless. So, I'm a big fan of serverless too. So, my company runs a SaaS products that's been around for quite a while. But we are not shifting to a more modern architecture. So, and yes, Lambda cost is something everyone's curious about. Thank you for sharing such useful insights on that. So, since so many people use Lambda, it's definitely an important topic. Thank you so much. So, and
Thank you.
also, and I'm really looking forward to reinvent and all the new updates that are coming soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone, do you have any comments or question?
There is nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep touching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, once again, so big round of applause to Harry and to all today's special speakers. Thank you so much. So now let's move on to the closing talk, right? Okay. So those are around 2 hours here by so fast. Hi. And before we wrap up, I just want to say a big thank you again. So each of you shared such experience, ideas, and we all learned a lot from you. So we truly appreciate the time and the passion you brought to this event. So before we close, feel free to drop your social links in the chat so we can all stay connected, please. So, and if you enjoyed today, please share this community with your AWS friends. We love to welcome new face next time. So, once again, thanks. So, everyone, It's be a wonderful event, and I can't wait to see you at the next time. Bye for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
See you.
See
Yeah, bye-bye.
you next time.
Great
you,
job.
bye.
I'll see people at reInvent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye, everyone.
you. Bye. So.